This time we're ready for that first class of Tunis for our Northeast Regional Tunis show. Those are fitted yearling rams, ready for them in the ring.
Good morning here. Certainly a nice start here to our Tunis show. We've got 6 really nice yearling rams here. There's a lot of differences floating through them, and we put these 2 favorites in motion. And I think the most comfortable one in motion here that we lead off with, big barrel and body in that sheep, and certainly when you get your hands on him, really good in terms of his spine. He's got a lot of dimension in his top, got a big hip in him. I think just an awfully nice one. I will ding him just a nickel. He's just a little bit fraction if you will, just a little bit on those pasterns, maybe just a little bit soft at times. But we get him out and go, he gets up on them just a little bit better. I think he's got the most positives. He's got a nice head about him. I think just an awfully neat one to lead off with. The next one is really a nice one, and just in terms of that picture of that show ring appeal. He's got some extra stretch about his front end, and I like that about him quite a bit. In motion, I don't think he's quite as comfortable in terms of what he does with his top line, but really a nice sheep as well. Again, really good in his spine. He's got some grow about him. I think just an awfully nice pair there, and if you want to swap them, I think you can for a couple different reasons. A little smaller package here in third. This sheep's really good in terms of his top line too. Big hip in that sheep. He gives up just a little bit of size and scale to them first 2 rams, but really an up-fronted one, a good shouldered sheep in motion. Really does a lot of nice things here for us. I think that's a neat one. If you had just a little more of him, Mike could get a little more of a case of getting a little higher there. Big ram that's going to tip the scale of being maybe one of the heavier ones here in 4, and you appreciate that about him. He's just a little bit loose of what he does in motion. He doesn't track quite as nice on those feet and legs. I think just a nice one, though, in terms of growth, in terms of substance. And then we work into a really smaller package here, but boy, that's an awfully nice sheep there. If we got some bigger ewes, maybe to breed that type of ram too, he's really fault-free. He's really good in his top, big in his hip, and very, very fluid in motion. I wish we just had a little more of him today to get him a little higher. And then we round out the top 6 here. Another good ram, very, very good in his spine. I like that one's hip, really long from hooks to pins. Again, maybe not as much balance as we get him on the side as a couple of them, but really good class. Let's put our hands together. Nice start to our Tunis show. Congratulations here.
Our next class is Slick Shorn yearling rams. Placing on the fitted yearling ram class for the Tunis show, first place to entry 2220 Red Barn Farm 0454 Drew Ridgway, Liberty Town, Maryland. That ram weighing 314. Second place, first in the junior show to 2222 Red Barn Farm 0474 Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. That ram weighing 309. Third, second in the junior show to 2230 Bugman 23919. Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. That ram weighing 235. Fourth to 2221 Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. Fifth place, third in the junior show to 2224 Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. Sixth, fourth place in the junior show to 2223 Peter Priest, Ludlow, Massachusetts.
Really a nice pair of Slickshore and Yearling Rams here for our Tunis show. I think In Motion, just another one that just is a tick more comfortable what he does with his spine here for us. Really a level designed ram that's got a lot of muscle shape about him. Just an awfully neat one up through his front end. Maybe just a little bit better in terms of his breastplate than we have in the one in second. The one in second is really, really long, and I appreciate that about him. Maybe just a fraction stouter about his bone work, but we get him into motion, wants to kind of get his top up just a nickel. Good pair. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations here.
Our next class is Senior Ram Lambs. Placing on that class of Slickshore Yearling Rams, first place to entry 2226, Busy Corner Farm, 1277, Busy Corner Farm, Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts, that ram weighing 242. Second place to entry 2225, S&T, 2319, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York, that ram weighing 256. The Tunis is one of the oldest breeds of sheep in the United States. The American Tunis evolved from a number of importations of fat-tailed sheep from Africa and the Middle East in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. These sheep were crossed with some established European breeds to improve meat characteristics. The earliest importations occurred in 1799. They came as a gift to the United States from the ruler of Tunisia and were entrusted to the care of Judge Richard Peters of Pennsylvania. Tunis sheep are medium-sized and are characterized by creamy-colored wool, copper and copper red colored faces and legs with pendulous ears and minor fat deposits over their dock area. Tunis wool is a lustrous, long stapled fiber that has found favor with many fiber and textile enterprises. When Tunis lambs are first born, they are red or tan in color. A white spot is sometimes present on their forehead and on the tip of their tail. The lambs gradually turn white as their wool grows, but the hair on the face and the legs retain that reddish or tan color.
Three really nice fall rams here in our Tunis show. There's some differences in them, and there's some things you like about each one of them and some things you maybe would change. I think the most positives here in our leadoff ram, this one really good in terms of when you get your hands on him. There's no hole behind his shoulder. He's got some elevation about his front end and some extension about him. In motion, I think, again, in terms of what he does with his feet and legs is probably the most ideal of the trio. just an awfully nice one to lead off with. The smaller package here, really a good top sheep, and again, big in his hip, and then in motion again, I think he just handles his rear too, just a nickel better than the big sheep that comes to us in third. I appreciate how growy that sheep is, and he paints a nice picture from the side. I'd like to just maybe have him just handle those rear legs just a nickel nicer, and it could be an attitude situation. I think all three of them have some positives here. That's a nice set. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations.
Next class will be for selection of our senior champion and reserve senior champion in the open show. We do want to recognize our help in the ring today, and that is Mackenzie Gill of Whitehall, Maryland. Mackenzie is the 2025 National Tunis Sheep Queen. Mackenzie is 16 years old from Hartford County, Maryland, where she lives on her family's farm with her parents and brother Todd. She raises and shows Katahdin, Tunis, Lincoln, Dorset, and Southdown sheep. She's a member of the Maryland State 4-H Livestock Skillathon team and is the president of her 4-H club. She enjoys showing her livestock around the country. She's a senior at Alessa's Academy and plans to study veterinary science in college. She also wants to thank all the Tunis exhibitors for coming out to the Northeast Regional Tunis Show here at the Big E. Let's welcome Mackenzie Gill to your Tunis Show today. Placing on the senior Ram Lamb class, first place in open, first in junior show, to entry number 2229, Premier 2505, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. Ram's weight is 222 pounds. Second place to entry 2227, S&T 2376, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That Ram weighed 181. And third to 2231, Spildy 852, Drew Ridgeway, Libertytown, Maryland. That Ram weighing 238.
Well, ringside here, let's put our hands together for the Tunis exhibitors as we get started here in our senior champion drive of the Rams. I think six real high-quality ones here. Again, maybe a slight bit of differences here, and there's some differences in the color about them too, and so some things kind of float around in your head. I think for me, there's a fault-free one here in this fall Ram that just has really a good top line in him with some look. He's up on his toes when we get him around the ring. He'll be our champion, our senior champion today. Then we're going to come back and get that yearling or the yearling Ram, the fitted yearling Ram for reserve. I think just a big-bodied, nice-headed Ram. Let's give him a big round of applause. Congratulations to the exhibitors here.
Our open show senior champion Ram goes to entry number 2229 out of the senior Ram Lamb class, Premier 2505, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. The reserve senior champion was first in the fitted yearling Ram class, entry number 2220, Red Barn Farm 0454, Drew Ridgeway, Libertytown, Maryland. Now ready for January Ram Lambs. Now ready for January Ram Lambs. So here's the first Tunis trivia question. In 2015, 10 years ago, who exhibited the Grand Champion Tunis ewe that went on to be selected as Supreme Champion ewe of the Big E, week number 2? Nate got that. It was Riverwood Farms of Powell, Ohio.
Really a nice trio of January lambs here. Again, I think we get one on top that just is the most comfortable in motion for us, and what he does with his feet and legs. He's got a little extra substance, a bone about him. He's got some length about him. They get him stopped there. He paints a nice picture for us. I think that's an awfully neat one to lead off with. The next couple, some give or take. We're going to follow in with the next largest one here. He's got some look about his front end. Maybe change him in motion just a nickel if you could. And then the baby lamb here, great top sheep in motion. He's wanting to just get a little bit choppy with what he does with those rear legs, but really a nice trio of nice handling rams. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations here.
Our next class will be February Ram Lambs. Placing on the January Ram Lamb class, first place and open first in the junior show to entry number 2235, Woolly Hollow 549, Mackenzie Gill Whitehall, Maryland. That ram weighing 185. Second in the Open, second in the Junior Show. To entry 2232, Bugman 2583. Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. That ram weighing 157. Third place to entry 2234, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ram weighing 134.
I think four nice February lambs here, and again, maybe some slight differences. I think we lead off with a real attractive fronted one that handles extremely good in terms of his top line. We get him into motion, and he tracks and travels around the ring like they're supposed to with a nice head about him. I think that one is just kind of an easy winner for me. I think he's got a lot of positives here for us for a junior buck lamb. I think that's an awfully nice one. The next one, going to tip the scale of following him just in being the big, massive one here for us. Maybe change him in his shoulder just a nickel if we could. He gets just a little bit bold, wants to take his chest forward to the ground just a nickel, but you get your hands on him, there's quite a bit of dimension to him. He's got a nice hip in him, and he's got some extra bone working down his in terms of his feet and legs, and so you appreciate that about him. Just a nice pair there in the third hole here. Another real fancy one in terms of his front end. Maybe gets just a nickel soft on his front pasterns for us today, but really a nice body and barrel in that sheep, and again, very nice about his head. Then we work into four here, just a smaller package, but the girls bring you an awfully nice one here. He's nothing wrong with that one at all. He's got some nice things about him. It just needs a few more days, I think, to get ahead of maybe these that are in the earlier part of the month here. I think that's an awfully nice lamb as well. Let's give him a big round of applause on a nice set. Congratulations here.
Now ready for March. March ram lambs will be your next class. Placing on the February class of Ram Lambs for the Tunis Show, first place to 2238, Busy Corner Farm, 1315, Busy Corner Farm, Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 165. Second place to 2236, S&T, 2397, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ram weighing 173. Third place to 2244, Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. That ram weighing 162. And fourth place, first in the junior show, to 2237, Riverfront Farm, 501, Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts.
Real nice set of March lambs here. Maybe, again, some differences floating through them of maybe types and kinds here, but certainly all four of them have some positives to offer. Really a big top sheep when you get your hands on this one that we lead off with. Carries that back into a square and level hip and got some rib and body and barrel in him with some look about him. And then again, in motion, very comfortable as we set him into motion with what he does with his feet and legs. Got a nice head about him. I think just an awfully nice lamb there to lead off with. The next one's very interesting. I like this sheep in a lot of pieces. I think that sheep's got one of the best hips that we've seen here in the whole Tunis show as far as rams. He's maybe just a fraction moderate and maybe going to be that way all his life, but certainly got some things to offer. He's got some body and some rib and barrel about him. He stands up on his toes like they're supposed to. I think that's an awfully nice one there for a breeding piece standpoint. Real fancy fronted one here in third. That one shortens up just a nickel compared to those first two. Then we work into a big guy here, and he's one of the stouter footed ones in terms of just Tunis having bone here for us that we've seen in this whole Tunis drive. But
please, there are no razor scooters allowed in the barn. Please put your scooters away. No razor scooters in the barn. Thank you.
You did that? Really like the bone on this guy. He gets just a little bit round on maybe both ends. Maybe wants to get a little bolder in his shoulder. But, man, he's got a masculine head about him. I think that's a piece ram that we can use in terms of a breeding piece. Very nice March class. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations.
Next class will be Slick Shorn Ram Lambs. Slick Shorn Ram Lambs will be your next class. Placing on the March Ram Lamb class, first place to entry number 2240, Anderson Acres, 25-163. Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York, and that was first in the junior show as well. That ran weighing 166. Second in the open, second in the junior show to entry 2241, S&T 2418, Leah Biowitz, Hunt, New York. That ran weighing 129. Third place to entry 2245, Anna Sherest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. That ran weighing 124. Fourth place to entry number 2239, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts.
Our slick-sheared ram class here offers quite a bit of variety in types and kinds here, and I think we've got some age differences here. Debbie said that this class ranges from maybe the falls all the way down to the marches, and so we've got some differences here. I think we lead off with a real smooth one that just has a lot of balance about him. When you get your hands on him, a lot of width and dimension working down his top. He's the one that's extremely sound on his feet and legs here for us as we move around the ring. I think this an easy winner here for us in that slick shear deal. The big heavy truck one here that comes to us in second, I think offers some good pieces here for us. Again, very stout in his bone. He's got some look about his front end and certainly done some growing here for us. In motion, maybe he's not quite as put together behind his shoulder as we have in that one that leads off for us, but certainly some positives here. We work into a pair of lambs here that just giving up some dimension maybe compared to those first two, maybe get just a nickel finer in their features compared to those first two, but really a nice slick sheared class. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations here.
Our next class is pair of ram lambs. Placing on the slick shorn ram lamb class for our Northeast Regional Tuna Show, first place goes to entry 2228, S&T 2399, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ran weighing 158. Second place to entry number 2246, MJK 37F, Autumn Piazza. Wilmington, Delaware, that ram weighing 222, and that was first in the junior show. Third to entry 2249, Aaron Liu. Cummington, Massachusetts, that ram weighing 130. And fourth place to entry 2247, also Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. Placing on the pair of ram lambs, first place to Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Second place, Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. We're now ready to show do have a correction on that pair of ram lambs. First place went to Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. Second place to Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Now ready to show for Open Show Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion ram.
Ringside here. Let's put our hands together for the Tunis exhibitors as they come back out with their junior rams for our junior champion reserve lineup. I think 8 really nice ones here. Again, some differences in them floating through them and maybe the types and kinds. I think we've got a pair of them that are just a little tidier on their wheels, maybe just a little bit better on their pasterns, and then in motion kind of hold themselves together just a nickel better in terms of their balance. That January ram will be our champion today. This March ram will be our reserve. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Junior Champion ram goes to entry 2235 out of the January Ram Lamb class. Woolly Hollow 549, Mackenzie Gill, Whitehall, Maryland. The Reserve Junior Champion to the first place from the March Ram Lamb class, entry 240, Anderson Acres 25163, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Our next class is for Grand and Reserve Grand Champion overall. Grand and Reserve Grand Champion overall will be our next class.
We get all four of them back out here, the seniors and juniors. Let's put our hands together again. That's four nice Tunis Rams here for our regional show. They've got nice breed character about them. They've got nice top lines in them with some bone and some substance underneath them. I think this is an awfully nice group here. For me, the fall Rams just so good behind his shoulder as he works back in through his hip. Just an awfully nice top line in him. He'll be our champion today, and we're going to get this junior lamb for reserve. Let's give him a big round of applause. Congratulations on a nice set of Tunis Rams today.
Our open show grand champion goes to entry number 2229, which was our senior champion out of the senior Ram Lamb class, Premier 2505, Marshall Kerper. And Marshall is from Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. The reserve grand champion to entry number 2235, our junior show champion. And that was 2235 out of the January Ram Lamb class, Woolly Hollow 549, Mackenzie Gill, Whitehall, Maryland. Those two were also our junior show champion ram and junior show reserve champion ram. Now ready for best headed Tunis ram. Best headed Tunis ram. Our Grand Champion Ram Award was sponsored by Boulder Creek Farm of Penobscot, Maine. Our Reserve Grand Champion Ram Award sponsored by Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. Also, our Best Headed Tunis Ram Award sponsored by S&T Tunis, Hunt, New York. Our best-headed Tunis ram went to entry 2240, a March Ram lamb that won its class, Anderson Acres 25163, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Our next class will be Class 1 of our fitted yearling ewes. Fitted yearling ewes, class number 1. These animals born the second day of January of 2024 through and including the 6th day of February of 2024. Class 1 yearling ewes will be your next class. Judging our Northeast Regional Tunis show today is Evan P. Snyder of Loysville, Pennsylvania. He's a full-time farmer. He and his family are turkey producers. Oh, wait a minute. That's the other Evan Snyder. I better get to the right one. Judging our show today is Evan Snyder of Atglen, Pennsylvania. Evan is the shepherd at Macaulay, Suffolk. He has been involved with the sheep industry his entire life. As a college student, he fitted and showed sheep for several prominent breeders and then became the farm manager of Superior Farms, a Dorset sheep operation. Evan is a proud graduate of Oklahoma State University. Go Pokes! Let's welcome Evan Snyder to your Northeast Regional Tunis show this morning.
I think a real nice start to our female show here for our Tunis. It's an awfully nice group of yearling ewes for Class 1. I think just a good group all the way through. There's a couple of big high-end females here on top. I think in that 1 and 2 slot, there's just a big, bold type of ewes that move good. They look good in terms of their breed character. We get them stuck, and they paint a nice picture here for us. We got a big broody ewe here to lead off with, just a big-bodied female with a great top line in her, beautiful head about her, and they get just a neat front end about her as she ties in her shoulder and her breastplate. Done a tremendous job of getting her presented and ready here for us. I think that's an awfully nice ewe. The second one, I think, pushes her pretty hard. I think that's a big-topped, big-hipped one that has a lot to offer in terms of rib and body. Maybe shortens up just a nickel compared to that class winner, but so sound on her feet and legs when we move her around the ring. I think this is another really good one to land in that 2-hole. Third one just kind of gives up some size and scale, kind of just lands here in 3, just kind of defaults into 3. Awfully big hip in that ewe. Again, great handling sheep. Just not quite as much pizzazz as we have in those first 2 ewes, but very good, again, in motion in terms of her balance. I think that's another really nice one there with just a tick moderation about her compared to those first 2. In 4, another up-fronted, good-looking one. Also shortens up just a nickel compared to those first 3. We could stretch her just a nickel if we could, but boy, is her top line good, her hips good, her feet and legs is extremely sound. She's got a little darker color about her, which I don't mind. I like that about her. I think that's an awfully nice female. And then round the top 5 out with one that just doesn't have as much neck extension or as much femininity about her as these first 4 ewes do, but very stout in terms of her bone. She's got some dimension when you handle her. Big in terms of her hip. I think that's a very good class. Nice set down here too. That's a really nice set of Tunis yearling ewes. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations here.
Now ready for class number 2 of our fitted yearling ewes. These animals have birth dates of 2/15/24 through 4/20/24. Placing on class 1 of our fitted yearling ewes, first place in open, first in the junior show, goes to entry 2263, Anderson Acres 142, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York, that ewe weighing 225. Second place to entry number 2265, S&T 2339, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York, that ewe weighing 213. Third place, second in the junior show, to 2264, Anderson Acres, 143, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. That ewe weighed 235. Fourth place to entry 2259, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Fifth to 2256, Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. Sixth place, third in the junior show, to 2255, Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. Seventh place to 2261, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. Eighth place, fourth in the junior show, to 2258, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. And 9th in the junior show to 2266, Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. 10th place to 2260, Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. 11 to entry 2265, also Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts.
Another nice set of yearling ewes here in Class 2. I think we've got maybe an easy handling winner here for us. I think one that just is really, really balanced and sound. She's got the most body and rib and barrel about her of this lineup. And then we get your hands on her. She's got some dimension about her. She stands up on a nice set of feet and legs. I think just another nice headed ewe. I think just an easy one to land on with the most positives here for us. Really a flashy one that comes to us in second. Maybe not as much of her in terms of rib and body today as we have in that class winner, but boy, has she got a front end about her, some neck extension about her, just a really elegant looking one from the side. As she continues to develop, I think she'll get some of that rib today. We'll leave her in that second hole, but just an awfully nice one in terms of fancy and look about her. One that shortens up just a nickel here in third, certainly has some dimension about her. If we could just stretch her out from flank to flank compared to those first two sheep, we maybe have a little more of a case here, but nice head about her. Get your hands on her. She's got a big hip and big pin set in her. We just need a stretcher for me, just a nickel, to get ahead of those two a little bit longer and bigger horses there. Nice ewe comes to us in 4, maybe gives up just a nickel of size and scale. Maybe doesn't stay as square in terms of her hip structure as we have in a couple of those ewes that lead off for us, but nice headed. Again, moves around the ring free and easy. Then we work into a fifth hole sheep that I like quite a bit. That sheep's got a nice front end, really elegant about her front end with a lot of femininity about her. Maybe gets just a nickel soft on those rear pasterns for us today, but certainly has done some growing. Very, very good about her top line. Another very good class. Let's put our hands together. Nice set. Congratulations.
Next class is Slick Shorn yearling ewes. So in 2010, 15 years ago, who was the exhibitor who had the Grand Champion Ram with a March Ram Lamb and Grand Champion ewe with a January ewe lamb, as well as first breeder's flock and first exhibitor's flock? Hint, it was a New England exhibitor.
Real nice set of slick shorn ewes, excuse me, here in our Tunis. I think we get land on one that is just kind of that hits a home run here in this deal, just from a standpoint of just being the most level in terms of her design. She's really sound in motion, and then you get your hands on her, a lot of dimension working down her top. She's got a great hip in her, just up on her toes like they're supposed to. I think this is an awfully nice female to lead off with. Our next one closely follows her, just in type and kind. Maybe not quite as neat in terms of her shoulder design. Maybe not quite as as much muscle shape working in her stifle as we have in that first ewe, but certainly level, certainly growy in terms of her design. I think that's a nice pair. Keep them together there. The third ewe, if we had wool on that female, she's going to be in that top end of those fitted classes there. That's a really sound one with some extra bone about her. She doesn't have quite as much muscle shape in her stifle that we have in those first two ewes, but she certainly is level in terms of her design. We put her into motion, and she tracks extremely well. I think that's a nice ewe to follow into that third hole with. Big heavy-duty ewe here in 4. Maybe just change her in her breastplate and shoulder just a nickel if we can. She gets just a little bit bold, but she does carry quite a bit of dimension working back through her top. She's got some stoutness in terms of her bone. I think this is a nice female from a breeding piece standpoint. And then a smaller framed ewe here to round out the top 5. Neat design, though. Good shouldered sheep. Just maybe needs a little more time to develop and mature in terms of mass compared to a couple of these, but very nice. That's a nice set of slick shorn ewes. Let's put our hands together. Congratulations on a nice group here.
Our next class is pair yearling ewes, and the answer to the trivia question from 15 years ago at the 2010 Big E, the exhibitor who had the Grand Champion Ram with a March Ram Lamb, a Grand Champion ewe with a January ewe lamb, and was first in the breeder's flock and first in the exhibitor's flock was John and Mary Ann McDonough of Winchendon, Massachusetts. Placing on the Slickshorn Yearling U class, first place goes to entry 2279, S&T 2342. Schwartz and Tolly, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ewe weighing 194. Second, first in the junior show to 2280, Swihart 2406, Leah Biowitz, Hunt, New York, with that ewe weighing 196. Third place to entry number 2285, Josie Best, Newport, New Hampshire. That ewe weighing 205. Fourth place to 2278, Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. Fifth place to 2284, Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. Sixth, second in the junior show to entry 2281, Piazza 0064, Autumn Piazza, Wilmington, Delaware. 7 to 2283, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. And 8 to Anna Shurest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. Placing on the pair of yearling U class, first place to Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Second place, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Third place, Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. 4 to Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. 5, Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. 6th place to Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. 7th place, Autumn Piazza, Wilmington, Delaware. 8, Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. And 9, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts. Now ready to show Senior ewe lambs. Next class is Senior ewe lambs.
Well, this is a really, really good class of females here. All of them are just exceptional. Really good set. Tunis breeders, kudos for just making an awfully nice set of senior ewe lambs here for us. I think on top we've got a trio, and all 5 of them are just very sound and just good in terms of their handle. There's some differences in them. Got a big-bodied ewe to lead off with that is really, really sound in motion. She's got just a lot of rib and barrel about her. I love her capacity, and just you get your hands on her, just a lot of mass and muscle about that female. She's got a big old hip in her with a nice pin set about her. She's really good on her toes. I think that's an awfully nice shoe to lead off with. The next couple you could interchange just a little bit if you wanted to. Really an elegant fronted one with just a little more size that we have maybe in the female that comes in third. Maybe not quite as massive as that lead off ewe here in second. Again, though, very sound on her feet and legs. Her top line is extremely good. She's really good behind her shoulders. I think that's another real nice one there to go into second hole. Our third one, the girls bring us a little smaller package here, but that sheep's got a lot of good about her. She's exceptionally good in terms of her top line. For a little smaller package, she handles with a lot of dimension. She's really, really long from her 13th rib. Again, stands up on a nice set of feet and legs. They've got her really, really highly presented. I think that's an awfully nice female to go into third hole. A couple bigger maybe ewes than that ewe that comes into third here in 4 and 5. They do shorten up just a nickel compared to those ewes ahead of them, but they've got some size and scale and some grow to them. Again, very nice about their hip. I think that's a really good set all the way through. Just a neat set of fall ewe lambs. Congratulations. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Next class, we will be showing for senior champion and reserve senior champion ewe. We want you to line up with that first line with Mr. Lou setting over here at the side. First, the line of first, right even with him. That way we get all of them in the picture on the camera. Don't go any farther toward the announcer stand than Mr. Lou. Placing on that senior ewe lamb class, first in open, first in junior show to $22.99. Red Barn Farm 5025. Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. That ewe weighing 203. Second place to 2303. Red Barn Farm 5023. Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. That ewe weighing 187. Third in the open, second in the junior show to entry number 2301, Baba Blacksmith Farm 0041, Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. That ewe weighing 144. Fourth place to 2297, S. Swartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Fifth place to 2298, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Sixth place, third in the junior show to 2305, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. Seventh place to entry 2302, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. Eighth and fourth in the junior show to 2304, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania.
Ringside here for our Tunis female show. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors. They come back at her with these senior ewes. I think really a whale of a set of females. Kudos to the breeders and exhibitors here of just bringing a very sound set of sheep that are just massive in terms of their top shape and yet very sound and elegant in terms of their front ends. I think just a really good group. I'm very happy with them. They've got them highly presented, and that matters. They've got them clean. They've got them fitted, and this is a sheep show, and they need to be that way. I think that's just an awfully nice set out here that we got to sort through on this top end. For me, there's a couple that kind of just stick together of being the long, big-hipped ones that have a lot of mass to them. That first class of yearling ewe will be our champion, and we're going to get our fall ewe lamb for reserve. Let's put our hands together in a nice set. Congratulations.
Our open show senior champion ewe goes to first place in Class 1 of the fitted yearling ewes, 2263, Anderson Acres 142, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. The reserve senior champion to our first in the senior ewe lamb class, 2299, Red Barn Farm 5025, Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. Now ready for January ewe lambs. All right, here's another trivia question about the Tunis. In 2005, that's 20 years ago, there were a variety of exhibitors to win classes in the Tunis show. Actually, 7 different exhibitors won classes. So, who was the premier exhibitor that year? Well, Debbie did guess the right answer, and an answer was Joseph and Joan Seavey from New York was that premier exhibitor in 2005.
Really an exceptional set of January ewe lambs here. Maybe take a little longer to put these together. I think there's a lot of quality in them, and then yet there's a tremendous amount of differences in them here. So we'll talk about those. I think, again, all the way down, just very, very good set of sheep that handle good. They move good. They look like Tunis about their breed character. I think just a really, really nice set here to sort through. I think kind of a fault-free one here. Maybe not the tallest at the point of her shoulders. We've got a couple of them that kind of follow in down here in 4 and 5. That one is built so good just in terms of how she lays her shoulder in, her rib, her hip and hind leg, and then that pin set about her is just awfully good. You get your hands on her, she's got some width and dimension. I think she's really elegant about her front end with a nice head about her. I think that's an awfully nice one to lead off with. A real stretchy one that follows her in second, I like a whole bunch. I think that sheep reads like she's just going to continue to grow and be an awfully big and good yearling ewe. Today there's not quite as much of her just in terms of top shape and dimension as we have in that leadoff ewe, but she's extremely sound on her feet and legs. I love her head. I love at the point of her shoulders how her neck comes out. I think that's an awfully high-end female to follow in second with. Our third ewe, that's the best moving one in this whole drive. When we put them into motion, she just tracks so nicely with her feet, holds her spine down in her, and I think maybe she moderates in terms of her size just a nickel, but she's got a beautiful head. She's got a lot of rib and body about her. She's really sound on her feet and legs. We give her just a little more size and scale, we could run her all the way. I think that one is so sound in motion. She's got a tremendous amount of balance about her. Big ewe comes to us in 4. She wants to stand just a little bit base narrow. There's not quite as much of her in terms of top shape as we have in those first 3 ewes, but she's going to be a big old gal. She already is. She's got a nice head about her. I think just another really nice ewe. If she would just give a little bit wider stance and just handle with a little more mass, we could run her all the way as well. I think that's a very nice female. Then we round out the top 5 with one that just moderates just a nickel in size. She's not one to profile and stand extremely good here for us. You get your hands on her, there's a lot of dimension about her, though. I think that's another nice one. Good set of females. Got a big ewe here in 6 that probably going to be one of the bigger yearling ewes come next year for us. She's maybe just not quite as coordinated today as a couple of them in terms of motion, but that's an awfully nice female too. Good set. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations.
Placing on the January class of ewe lambs, first place and open first in the junior show to 2306 Red Barn Farm, 5030 Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. That ewe weighing 149. Second place to entry number 2316 S&T 2390 Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ewe weighing 134. Third to 2317, Anna Sherest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. That ewe weighing 130. Fourth place, second in the junior show, to 2311, Red Barn Farm, 5028, Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. Fifth place, third in the junior show, to 2310, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. Sixth place to entry 2309, Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. 7th place to entry 2314, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. 8th place, 4th in the junior show, to 2313, Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. 9th place to entry and 5th in the junior show, to 2307, Autumn Piazza, Wilmington, Delaware. 10 to entry 2242, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. 11, 6 in the junior show, to 2318, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. 12, 7 in the junior show, to 2312, Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. And 13, 8th in the junior show, to 15, Autumn Piazza, Wilmington, Delaware. Now showing February ewe lambs. Final Tunis trivia question. In 1995, that's 30 years ago, the National Tuna Show was held at the Big E. What two New York breeders won all the individual classes but 3, and between them won 5 of the 6 group classes? What were those two New York exhibitor breeders?
Really a nice set of Februaries here. Again, I think just a very solid set all the way through. I think we get a pair on top, just big hipped and really neat to look at from the side. A little more extremities of that first one, just in terms of her front end extension, her elevation, her femininity is tremendous in that use. She's got a huge hip in her. I think just an awfully nice one there to lead off with. Our next one, just massive in terms of top shape. Again, great in terms of her pin set and 3/4. Not quite as much flash and fancy as we have in that first one, but certainly a nice female. She's put together extremely well. A lot of balance about her. I think this a very high-end one to go into second hole. Our third one does closely follows her. Maybe not as square back in through her hip as we have in those two that lead off. We work into the next one. Just a smaller package, but one maybe just going to be a little bit younger and greener yet on us here, but I think one that's going to grow and just be a tremendous yearling use. She's got a nice head about her. I think that's a nice fourth hole sheep. And then we round out the top 5 with one that shortens up. She gets a little bit shorter coupled in terms of her stride, in terms of her handle, but certainly got some front end extension about her with some bone and some ruggedness about her feet work. I think that's an awfully nice group again. Let's put our hands together. Nice set of Februarys. Congratulations.
And the answer to that trivia question from 30 years ago was Schwartz and Tully Tunis of Attica, New York, and Finger Lakes Farm of Seneca Falls, New York. Next class is March ewe lambs. Placing on the February ewe lamb class, first place and open first in the junior show to 2322 Anderson Acres 25153. Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. That ewe weighing 133. Second place to entry 2248 S&T 2409 Schwartz and Tully Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ewe weighing 130. Third, second in the junior show to 2319 MJK 2532 Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. That ewe weighing 138. Fourth place, third in the junior show to entry 2320 Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. Fourth in the junior show to entry 2323 Mackenzie Gill, Whitehall, Maryland. Sixth and fifth in the junior show to 2324 Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. Seventh to entry 2328 Anna Sherest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. 8th and 6th in the junior show to 2326 Peter Priest, Ludlow, Massachusetts.
Nice set of March ewe lambs here. I've got some differences floating through them. A couple of them might be on the early part of March, and some of them on the later part of March, and that's okay. We got them sorted out here. I think a real elegant, feminine, fancy one to lead off with here. She's one that maybe just looks just a tick more age appropriate here, maybe for this March class, just in terms of how her front end's built, how her neck extension comes to the point of her shoulders, and then in motion, I think she's the most comfortable one of maybe this top trio of ewes that I like the best. I think that's an awfully neat one there. Nice about her color. I think she's got a little extra dark about her. I like that female quite a bit there. The next one, the heavy duty ewe, maybe just for me, maybe just a little bit bulky and massive for this class. I think there's nothing wrong with her though. I think she's got a good hip and pin set in her. She's got some rib about her. Maybe just like to make her a little more youthful if we could to ding her just a nickel. The next ewe paints a great picture from the side. This one is really neat to look at from the side. She's getting just a little bit soft on that show side pastern in terms of her rear for us, but really a neat one there when they get her stopped, and then you get your hands on her. Got a lot of dimension about her. We get her up on that pastern, we could lead off with that ewe pretty nicely for us. The next ewe comes to us real fancy, real feminine type of female, in motion, maybe just a fraction choppy compared to a couple of them, maybe just a little finer in her feature, but boy, has she got a front end extension about her. I think that one reads to be a big old yearling ewe come next year. That's an awfully fancy one there to go into 4, and then we get one into 5 here that's a little trouble for me. Again, I think I read that one to be a big yearling ewe come next year. She's in just a little bit of an awkward stage today in her movement. She didn't want to move out quite as nice as a couple of them, but you get her stopped and you get your hands on her. There's quite a bit of sheep there. I think it's a really nice March class all the way through. Let's give them a big round of applause. Congratulations here.
Next class is Slick Shorn ewe lambs. Placing on the class of March ewe lambs for our Northeast Regional Tunis Show. First in the junior show to 2351. Anderson Acres, 25,164. Colin Anderson, West Carrollton, New York. That ewe weighed 122. Second place in open and in junior show to 2332. Red Barn Farm, 5055. Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. That ewe weighed 148. Third in the junior show to Colin Anderson, West Carrollton, New York, with 2339. That ewe weighed 143. Fourth place to entry number 2340, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. Fifth place to entry 2325, Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. 6, fourth in the junior show to 2333, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. 7, 5 in the junior show to 2341, Oliver O'Keefe, Marlborough, Connecticut. 8th place, 6th in the junior show to 2344, Leah Bielwitz, Hunt, New York. 9, 7 in the junior show to 2331, Jordan Edstrom, Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire. 10th place to entry 2343, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts. 11th place, 8th in the junior show, to 2338, Elliot Grierson, Indian Orchard, Massachusetts. 12th place to entry 2345, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts.
Really a nice set of slick-shorn ewe lambs here. Again, maybe some differences in some ages, and that's okay. We've got a big wide range in this class, and I think we lead off with a couple of ewes. They're just the maybe the more fancy ones when we get them parked, and just in terms of show ring appeal. The first one just has a little more of her than maybe that second one does. In motion, she wants to roach up just a nickel, that class winner does, but they get her parked. There's a lot of good in that female. Her shoulder lays in extremely well. At the point of her shoulder, she's really, really good. She's got some dimension about her, and then you talk about her hip structure, really level as she comes back from hooks to pins. I think that's an awfully nice female to lead off with. The young ladies bring you a real fancy one here in second hole. This one is built extremely good. Really it resembles our class winner a lot. Just really level in terms of her design. Very, very sound in motion when we set her around the ring. She doesn't have quite as much stifle maybe as we have in that class winner, but just an awfully nice female with a nice head about her. Girls, I think you bring a nice entry here for us. The third ewe is maybe the heavy duty one here, and maybe going to tip the scale of being the heavier one, and you appreciate that. I think she's got some age advantage over maybe the two that we lead off with. Maybe just a little bit bolder in her shoulder design, but she does have some dimension and some width, and you appreciate that about her. Real elegant female comes to us in 4, really long-sided and level. She works down her top. I read this one to become a big yearling ewe come next year. Her extension about her front end and femininity is really, really good. She maybe gives up just a little bit of that stifle shape that we have in those 3 ewes ahead of her, but she's got some stoutness of bone about her you certainly appreciate. And we work into a couple just smaller females here. The next one's built pretty good, just doesn't have as much of her as a couple of them. And we work into the top 6 here. One that gets just a little bit rounder over her hip, but certainly I like the stoutness and I like her head. That's a very nice set. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations.
Next class is pair of ewe lambs. placing on that class of Slickshorn ewe lambs, first place goes to entry number 2347, Busy Corner Farm, 1308. Busy Corner Farm, Aaron Liu, Cummington, Massachusetts. That ewe weighed 136. Second place to entry 2348, Jarris, 2501, 0185, Kaz Jarris, Cummington, Massachusetts. That ewe weighed 107. Third place to entry 2346, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. That ewe weighed 157. 4 to 2354, Josie Best, Newport, New Hampshire. Fifth to 2349, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. And 6 to entry 2350, Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. The next class will be for Open Show Junior Champion U. Placing on the class of pair of ewe lambs, first place goes to Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Second place to Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. Third place, Drew Ridgway, Liberty Town, Maryland. 4, Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. 5, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. 6, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. 7th place, Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. 8th place to Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. 9, Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. 10th place, Autumn Piazza, Wilmington, Delaware. And 11th place to Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts. Again, we're now showing for Open Show Junior Champion and Reserve Junior Champion U. We need 2348, Jarris, 2501, 0185 of Kaz Jarris in the ring to show for Junior Champion and Reserve.
Well, ringside here, let's put our hands together for our junior ewe-lambs, Tunis exhibitors here. I think this has been fun. There's a lot of really, really good sheep here. Tunis breeders have come a long way here in the last few years, just making really exceptional sheep. They're good on their feet and legs. They handle good. They've got the hips in them like we like to see. Just that their pin sets are coming out really nicely. I think just a darn good group here. For me, the January ewe-lamb, just a bold female with a big old top shape in her. She gets around the ring pretty free and easy for us. That'll be our junior champion today. Then it closes up for reserve pretty tightly, actually, whether we go get that second Jan or this really, really elegant February. That I ding the February maybe just isn't quite as coordinated around the ring, maybe as much as a couple of them, or you get this March ewe-lamb that handles like a dream with a big hip in her. I'm going to come down and get the March ewe-lamb today for reserve. Let's give him a big round of applause. Congratulations.
For the Open Show Junior Champion U, it goes to entry number 2306 out of the fitted January class. 2306 was Red Barn Farm 5030, Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. The reserve champion for the junior division is 2351 from the March ewe-lamb class. Anderson Acres 25164, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Now ready to show for Grand and Reserve Grand Champion U. Oliver O'Keefe of Marlborough, Connecticut sponsors the award for the Grand Champion U. And Red Barn Farm, the Loper family of Nunda, New York, sponsored the award for the Reserve Grand Champion U. Following our selection of our junior show champion and reserve, we will also be having a best headed U class, and that award is sponsored by Aaron's Shearing Service, Cummington, Massachusetts.
Well, again, we get back out here for that overall Grand and Reserve. Let's put our hands together for these Tunis breeders, and not just these four. I think that we had a whale of a set of females in this whole show, and I think kudos just again to each and every one of you for just making such a nice set of sheep and presenting them really good. I think this is a great set here. Our yearling ewe, I think she's pretty fault-free. She'll be our champion today. Just a big old massive ewe with some look about her, big hip in that female, and then maybe closes up a little tighter for Reserve. I like the breastplate of this junior ewe-lamb, just a nickel better. She's really, really good in her top line. She'll be our reserve today. Let's give him a big round of applause. Congratulations.
Our Open Show Grand Champion U is 2263. 2263 came out of the first class of yearling ewes. Anderson Acres 142. Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Our reserve Grand Champion U was our junior champion U, 2306. She came from the fitted January ewe-lamb class, Red Barn Farm 5030, Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. For our junior show, those same animals were our champion junior show U and reserve champion junior show U. Again, junior show champion U was 2263. 2263 coming out of Class 1 yearling ewes, Anderson Acres 142, Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York, and our reserve junior show ewe 2306 Coming out of our January fitted ewe lamb class, Red Barn Farm, 5030 Gregory Loper, Nunda, New York. Now ready to show for best headed ewe. Want to remind you as you line up for that best headed ewe, don't go any farther than Mr. Lou. Back up just a little bit. Mrs. Lou's there now, she and he. Back up just a little bit. That's good, Josie, right there. No farther than Josie. Next class is Exhibitors Flock. Best headed ewe came out of the January ewe lamb class, entry number 2309. Backyard Tunis 2504, Drew Ridgway, Liberty Town, Maryland. Next class will be Breeders' Flock. Placing on the Exhibitors' Flock class, first place goes to Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Second place to Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Third, Drew Ridgway, Libertytown, Maryland. 4, Marshall Kerper, Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. 5, Amanda and Caitlin Willard, Northampton, Massachusetts. 6th place to Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. 7th place to Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. 8, Michaela and Meredith Bugman, Dalton, New York. 9, to Autumn Piazza, Wilmington, Delaware. And 10, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts. Now ready for Get of Sire, placing on the Breeders' Flock. First to Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Second place to Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Third, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. 4, Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. And 5, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts. Placing on the Get of Sire class, first place to Colin Anderson, West Carlton, New York. Second place to Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. Third, Aaron Liu, Busy Corner Farm, Cummington, Massachusetts. 4, Anna Charest, Brimfield, Massachusetts. And 5, Wendy Cameron, Middleborough, Massachusetts. And to wrap things up, our premier exhibitor is Schwartz and Tully, Tunis, Hunt, New York. And our premier breeder is Gregory Loper of Nunda, New York. That does conclude our Northeast Regional Tuna Show. We will be back here in 30 minutes with our lead line